Hi, I'm Cynthia. Today I'm going to show you how to make cookies like the pros using sugar cookie mix that we bought at your local grocery store. We are going to add a few extra ingredients. I am going to show you the difference between a dough that you make from scratch and a dough that you use from a bag. There is a little bit of spreading, and I'll also provide you with tips on what to do so that your cookies can come out looking like a few of the ones that I've made on my Instagram feed. And I'll also give you a few other tips to make sure that your cookies look awesome. Let's get right into the video. Here are the ingredients that I am going to add into my sugar cookie mix bag. They will be listed in my description box below and on my website. So here I do have a Crocker Sugar Cookie mix bag, and I did buy this at my local grocery store. Here I also have some butter. I didn't end up using all of this. And I'll also add in 1 large egg. I have flour that I am going to add into the already mixed bag. And I also have some vanilla. To begin, I am adding 1 stick of unsalted room temperature butter to my mixing bowl, 1 large egg, and all of my ingredients have been sitting out at room temperature, and I am going to beat them so that they can get a little bit fluffy before I add any of the other ingredients. Once my butter and egg have combined, I am going to go ahead and add the entire bag of sugar cookie mix into the bowl. And right on the side, I do have extra all-purpose flour. I will be adding 1 cup of all-purpose flour into this bowl. For extra flavor, I will also be adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. You can add any flavoring that you want at this point. After I added those ingredients, I did go ahead and mix my ingredients into this dough for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Here's how my dough looks. As you can see, it's not sticking to the bowl and it's not sticking to my fingers, and that's exactly the consistency that we're looking for. Once our dough is mixed, we can do one of 2 things. You can go straight to rolling it, or you can actually put it in the refrigerator so that it can cool down a little bit and get a little bit more firm. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll it. And I did prepare my dough easy mat with a little bit of powdered sugar just to make sure that my dough doesn't stick to the bottom of it. And I am going to place my dough here, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out using my rolling guides. For this part of the process, I do want to give you a few tips or a few of the things that I noticed when baking this dough. So you do have to remember that a lot of the store-bought mixes or doughs for cakes or cookies do have a lot of preservatives. They also have a lot of rising agents like baking soda, baking powder. And this is one of the things that causes your treats or your cookies to spread or to get fluffy. So basically what I recommend is that if you do want no spreading at all or minimal spreading, that you do spread or roll out your dough, place it into the refrigerator or the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes to diminish the spreading process once you bake your dough. Another tip that I have for you is that anytime you're using any sugar cookie dough recipe, that you do dip your cutter into powdered sugar first and then cut the shape into your dough, because sometimes this will diminish the amount of dough that gets stuck in the delicate or skinny parts of your cutter. This is just kind of like a side note, and that's what I always do when I cut. I dip and then I place my cutter and I cut into my dough. And I do the same thing when picking up my dough from the mat. I'll insert my little spatula or any tool that I'm using into powdered sugar. Then I'll scrape it down under my cookie, and then I'll transport it over to my baking tray. And here I want to show you the difference between a scratch dough and the sugar cookie mix that we made here in this video. So on your right, you will actually see that this is my sugar cookie dough recipe from scratch, and I am placing it over the sugar cookie mix that we used from a bag. As you can see, there is slightly bit of spreading, but like I mentioned earlier, you can avoid or prevent a little bit of this by refrigerating your dough before cutting it. And here on the back side, you can see that they do bake a little bit different. So my scratch dough is again the one on the right, and the sugar cookie mix dough from the store is the one on the left. It does bake slightly a little bit more brown on the back, and I think that's because this sugar cookie mix does have a lot more artificial sugar or some more preservatives or things of that sort. So I think that's why it bakes a little bit different. I also want to add that the taste is a little bit different from a scratch recipe. So basically when you bite into the dough that we did make today, it kind of like melts in your mouth a lot faster than a scratch mix does. But regardless, it tastes super good. It's amazing. And once you get the hang of it, and once you practice a little bit with it, along with using my consistency video and the royal icing recipe that I did show you a few months ago, I am sure that you will become a pro in no time and with minimal work, because you don't have to measure out a lot of things. You just have to add a little bit more ingredients. So I really do hope that this helps you out in your cooking journey. I hope that you try it out, and if you do, please let me know. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!